So I'm Dean Beers, and with my wife Karen, we are associates in forensic investigations. We are a Rocky Mountain-based agency providing expert medical legal consultations and legal investigations nationwide in death and serious bodily injury in civil, criminal, and probate litigation. This includes fatal and non-fatal events, denied life insurance benefits and appeals, as well as family question deaths and all these things related. Okay, so let's talk about our next case study from Associates in Forensic Investigations. And this one is about gunshots, trajectories, and the evidence in a first-degree attempted homicide in which we provided a expert consultation. So our agency was retained to review and analyze the records, reports, and photographs from the official records of the law enforcement agencies and provide expert case review and consultation to our client representing the defendant, specific to this gunshot trajectory and related evidence. So the CSI's report stated that inaccurate or accurate trajectories couldn't be determined or obtained due to there being no second contact point. So a trajectory typically has an entry point and an exit or a point of impact or something like that, and it may have additional points, especially if something interrupts the trajectory and changes it. A trajectory rod could have been approximated using the points of the projectile that they had, including the bullet fragment that was found to go through the vehicle impact. The photographs that we reviewed showed only one trajectory rod placement, and we found that this trajectory rod placement was inconsistent with other impact and defect evidence in the vehicle door, and the door panel, things like that, in determining the correct trajectory. So the official theory of multiple shots and multiple projectile impacts was not supported by the evidence that we reviewed. The evidence did support a single shot caused the observed impact that we saw on the vehicle and the vehicle damage. The visible points of impact, the direction of deflection, and visible copper fragments, as well as the energy loss, are all consistent with a single round striking and not perforating either the driver's side rear passenger door and continuing to the driver's side mirror. So to explain this, the impact was into the side of the vehicle at the point where the rear driver's side door shuts and makes contact with the car. And there was also damage to the side view mirror, which broke the mirror but did not perforate or fully go through the mirror, the side view mirror housing on that. So, to explain how this happened. And their theory was that the bullet struck the side of the vehicle, the door, and then went through this little part of the back of the door and then continued into the side view mirror. We found that didn't happen. Additional investigative steps were not taken, including full scene documentation, full scene photography, and evidence collection. In fact, they didn't even take photographs or document if there were any spent casings around, if there were, how many, if there were, what it came from. And that's important because they concluded that it was an AR-15 style rifle that was used by the defendant because he had been pulled over the week prior by the same agency and had a AR-15 style rifle, as well as a few other firearms that he had legally purchased like that day of the stop. So they suspected it was the AR-15. That round, a .223 rifle round, would have fully penetrated and perforated, gone through that side view mirror if that was a direct strike. So that was one thing. They also didn't examine the vehicle interior for any fragments or other damage. In fact, in their photographs, we found a part of the lead bullet fragment on the floorboard of the back passenger driver's side, and we were able to follow the path in checking the vehicle door photographs, which they did not do, but we were able to follow the path of the impact of the bullet, how it bifurcated or split into two, and one part of the projectile, the lead and copper, went down the closed door area and into the back seat area, back compartment, and where that lead fragment was found on the floorboard. The other fragment continued off the side of the back of the door and into the side view mirror, where it was never found or recovered. The other thing was that there was really no proper assessment of the initial impact of these trajectories, as I just explained. So, what was the outcome of this? Well, it got pretty interesting. On the eve of my evidentiary testimony that I was supposed to give, the prosecution offered according to the defense attorney, a pretty amazing plea deal. So remember, the defendant was originally charged with attempted murder, which was a felony 2, and illegal discharge of a firearm, which is a felony 5. And he was offered a plea and pled to menacing, which is a misdemeanor 1. So this resulted in no jail time and 1 year probation for the defendant. The defense attorney thanked us and said, this was thanks largely to your expert report, and it made a huge difference in our case. As a side note, it took months of plea negotiation for them to reach this deal, and the DA had not read my report until the eve of my expected testimony. To make this a little more interesting, I was supposed to testify the week prior to this, and in July, but I could not because I was in the hospital, having had a heart attack that weekend, July 4th weekend, and having had triple bypass surgery. So I was out of state in the hospital and still in ICU, and actually it in a medically induced recovery. So I really wasn't awoke until later that evening that I was supposed to testify. My wife had let them know that I could not testify, and they postponed it for a week. So if it wasn't for that week delay because of my medical reasons, the DA would have never had read that report timely, and this plea deal would not have been offered in the way it was. So just an interesting caveat. So thank you for watching our case studies. We'll bring back another one next month. Thank you. How can we help you and your clients today? Contact us now. Email us direct to schedule a confidential phone consultation, compliments of us.